Hey riders and racers, and welcome back for another video. Today's video is the best supplements for enduro races. So there's a whole heap of supplements out there that you can take, and now they even, nowadays, we've got supplement stores. Back when I was racing, supplement stores didn't really exist. But there were a few different, the main thing I want to tackle with this is now there is so many options. It's like what works and what doesn't work, what's worth testing or worth using, and what's not worth testing and not worth using, because there's a million different things you can be taking. And if you just rely on what's on the front of the packet, then you'll end up walking home owning a whole chemist. So what did I do when I was racing? There's a few different things that I tried. I tried like protein bars. I used to have glucose tablets. You can buy the little glucose tablets in a packet, which is just a whole heap of sugar. I used to have Lucozade and Powerades and Gatorades and Staminades, a lot of drinks like that. That's really it. I didn't really try much supplement-wise while I was racing, maybe like energy bars and things like that, but protein bar was probably a big one that I'd usually have at lunchtime or have later on in the afternoon for no particular reason. It just says on the front, want better recovery and want to feel better. Yep, that sounds good. I'd love that. So I used to have an energy bar. There's really no science or education behind why I had it. So the supplements that are going to help you the most out of everything that you could possibly have. So first of all, with supplements are the icing on the cake, so to speak. Okay, now if you just have icing by itself with no cake, then you haven't really got much there. Okay, the icing tastes good when it's mixed with the cake, but the cake is the major thing. The cake is the main thing. You could have the best icing in a shit cake, and the cake's going to be shit, right? So supplements are exactly the same. Supplements are that little bit extra, that addition to how you're fueling yourself and how you're eating. So if you haven't got your nutrition nailed, so you're not eating proteins, fats, and carbs in a relevant ratio for most of your meals, and you haven't got your nutrient timing sorted for race day, then supplements probably aren't really going to help you. You're going to have them, and there may be some level of placebo effect there at the start, but it's not going to give you a long-term noticeable difference because you haven't got the cake sorted. Okay, you're just trying to put the icing on a shit cake. You need to have a really, really good cake, and then you put the icing on top. And that's exactly what supplements are. That's why it's in the name supplement. Okay, they supplement things. They're not replacements. Okay, they're not called replacements. They're called supplements. So some important ones that I would use and that are worth using and that I recommend for the riders I work with. Whey Protein is a great one. So if you're doing an enduro, 3-hour enduro, the reason that you want to use protein is you want your body protein is the building block for your muscles. And when you go and ride, okay, and you get muscle soreness and fatigue, those muscles are breaking down. And so what they need to repair themselves is protein. Protein is the building block that helps them to recover. So when you're going through, say, a 3-hour enduro, we want to make sure that we're putting protein into your system so that it can recover, so that it can start the recovery process. So you want to work on, if I remember off the top of my head, it's roughly 15 grams of protein per hour of riding. So if you're doing a 3-hour enduro, you want roughly 15 grams of protein every hour or at each stop. Now, the reason that you would use a supplement, okay, and not use a piece of steak or something like that, is because of digestion. So when your body is in a stressed response, could be stress through anxiousness, stress through nervousness, stress through having a fight with your missus. It could be stress from riding, okay, as in physical stress, like stress from going training, going to the gym. Some of those are good stresses and some of them are bad, but at the end of the day, they're all stress. Body can't really tell the difference. So if we're stressed and we try and eat food, what happens? So if you're training and you've done a really, really hard workout, do you feel like eating straight away? And the answer is, if you actually trained hard, no, you don't feel hungry straight away. You have to wait a bit. Okay, and the reason you have to wait a bit because your digestive system has been shut down. So when your stress response is triggered, your digestive system and non-essential systems in your body are shut down so that your body can give you more energy in that moment to get away from whatever the danger is. In our case, we don't have any dangers. It's just you doing some exercise or riding your bike out on the track. So the reason protein is good in a powder form, in a supplement, is because we can get it in liquid form. So what this means is we can make it really easy for your body to get the protein in because it's in liquid form and doesn't have to use too much effort to digest it and break it down. We use a piece of steak, we do. Also logistically, if you're doing a 3-hour enduro and you're doing think, for example, you're not going to have someone with a little gas stove out at each fuel stop before you're whipping up a steak ready to go. So it helps logistically for racing and riding and racing, but the main thing that we're actually using it for is ease of digestion. The other one you can use if you're finding it hard to hit your protein requirements each day. So rough formula, you want to use about 1.6, 1.8 grams of protein every day. And the reason we do this is, especially if you're trying to lose weight, we want to try and keep your muscle mass, okay, and keep your level of strength there. And the way that you do that is by making sure you've got enough protein to keep your muscles around. If you don't have enough protein, they start to break down. So you can use casein protein, which is a slow digesting protein. And you can use this during the day as a supplement. Again, you can have it as like a morning tea or a snack to help you hit your protein requirements. The reason we use whey protein, okay, on race day is because it's rapidly digested by the body. Okay, our body can absorb whey protein very quickly and very easily. Casein protein, not so much. It's going to take can take up to 12 hours for your body to digest casein protein. So when our body's just been broken down, like you've just gone training or you've just been riding, you want something that is easily digestible and digestible very quickly, so that your body can start repairing itself as quickly as possible, and that's why we use whey. The other thing that I use at the moment, which I didn't use while I was racing, is magnesium. So I found with magnesium, helps me sleep a lot better. So I did a bit of an experiment, and you guys probably won't be able to conduct this experiment, but since I coach and run my own show each day, I can. I did a bit of an experiment where I let myself sleep as much as I needed to in the morning. So I'd go to sleep at 10 o'clock and then let myself sleep until I just felt like waking up, put no alarm on. And so the reason that I did that is I wanted to test to see whether I could get any improvements in the quality of sleep or the length of sleep that I was able to get by using magnesium. And what I found since I started taking magnesium, it actually cut a couple of hours off how much sleep I was getting. So for some of the mornings, like I was getting up, I was sleeping for a very long time. And I don't know, maybe there was things going on in my life that were affecting my sleep. Maybe something to do with training. I don't know. But when I was letting myself sleep, I was getting up at say like 10 o'clock, right? And I would go to bed at 10 and going, fuck, 12 hours. And even I'm going, fuck, 12 hours. Like I can't live my life spending, 12 hours a day in bed. Like there's shit that needs to be done. So then when I started taking magnesium, that got me down to about 8 o'clock. And I was doing about, and getting up at about 8 o'clock naturally, okay, normally. So ever since then, I've been taking magnesium, which comes in these little things here. That's not very evidence-based. That's just my experience with it. So you might find that it helps you. A lot of guys take magnesium for cramping. I don't have issues with cramping, and I don't take it for cramping. I take it for quality of sleep. A lot of guys do take it for cramping. Magnesium, for majority of you, is not the actual cause of cramps, but I'll save that for another video. Carb drink is another one. So carbohydrate drink. So you can use a carbohydrate drink which is high in sugar before a ride or race, half an hour, 45 minutes before. And you can use, like if you're doing a 3-hour enduro, for example, you can have it at each fuel stop. So you want to have roughly 30 to 45 grams of carbs at each fuel stop. So that's where you could use a carbohydrate drink. With your carb drink, try, depending on the type of riding that you're doing, always try and have my protein and carbs separate. There are some companies out there, like I know there's a brand called Masashi, and they do all of their stuff together. It's protein and carbs together. For riding and racing, depending on the type of riding and racing you're doing, sometimes you do want to have them separate because you want to have them at different times. You don't want to have protein necessarily when you're having carbs, or having carbs when you're having the protein. So if you can get them separately, that's going to be much better. Especially if you use supplements during the week as well. When you're not racing, you don't want to always be having carbs and protein together. Sometimes there'll be times where you need to hit a protein target for the day, and you don't need. We don't want all the calories from carbs or all the energy from carbs. So they're the main ones that I use. So I use whey protein, casein protein, magnesium, and carbohydrate. All those things I currently use for my training. Nothing else that I could think of that I use. And there are a million different things out there you can use. As I said at the start of this video, for a lot of you, there's more to be gained from sorting out your nutrition. But the reason people jump to supplements is because it's easy. Right? It's easier for me to buy magnesium and go, oh, I want to sleep better, so I'm just going to go out and buy these magnesium tablets and pop a couple of them a day and try and improve my sleep that way than it is to cut out coffee and not drink caffeine, right? You're going to get better results from cutting out caffeine than you are from these magnesium tablets. So it's not something I would start with. And that's really, I'm not really an advocate for many supplements. These ones I've talked about are more for ease of digestion and ease of use out at the track. But things like magnesium, a lot of you are not going to get the benefit purely from just having magnesium, or you may get a benefit from using magnesium, but you're going to get a bigger benefit if you cut out coffee, or if you stopped eating a whole heap of sugar throughout the day and having your energy go up, down, up, down, up, down like this. This is just, if you're looking for this as like a quick fix or an easy option, then don't get it. Start using the building a good base for yourself and fixing 99% of the problem rather than trying to fix 1% of the problem. That's my 2 cents worth on supplements anyway. If you'd like some help with fueling yourself for race day, you want to build an A-grade level of fitness going into next season, you want to make sure you've got the right supplements and you're not wasting your time doing shit that doesn't work, feel free to apply to work with me. I'll put a link up here and down here. Click the link, fill it out, ask you a couple of questions about what you're working towards, and then we'll go from there. Otherwise, hopefully you enjoy this video, and I'll chat to you guys soon. See ya.